Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to my abode here at the ISBCC. It's great to be with you. The month of Ramadan is flying by us, and we spent the first part of this month talking about tasting faith and worship, and now we're going to talk about tasting family. You know, family is really on the endangered species list, and what I mean by family is not necessarily a single parent home versus a two-parent home, because we know that there are two-parent homes that can be broken and there are single-parent homes that can be whole. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about as an institution, the love, the support, the security that families traditionally created under contemporary, real cultural as well as social constraints and economic constraints has been shattered. Whether someone's a refugee from Syria who their children are in Jordan and the mother is here, or the father's here and the mother's somewhere else, or whether here in the city of Boston where people are going through different challenges and realities, family is really on an endangered species list. And the Quran doesn't ask us to have perfect families. Sometimes we have these really great assumptions about what our family should be like vis-a-vis our religion, and that leads us into really utopic expectations, which actually harm especially our children. Whereas if we look at the Quran, we see that families in the Quran, families of the prophets in particular, constantly model how a perfect faith, Islam, deals with an imperfect set of situations. So the first family in the Quran is Sayyidina Adam. I mean, that's not a normal family. His sons killed each other. The second family is Prophet Noah. His son, disavowed him. Third family would be Prophet Yusuf. His brothers threw him in a well, Jacob. You can continue through the Quran, you see these stories of prophets whose families are anything but perfect. So the first thing when we talk about the month of Ramadan is that this is a month of coming back to Allah, coming back to Him and mending our relationship with Him. We should also make sure that we mend the relationship with our families. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith related by Imam al-Tirmidhi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that He is the most merciful, Ar-Rahman, who took His name from Ar-Rahm, which is the womb. So He said whoever keeps the ties of the womb, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep the ties with them. Whoever breaks those ties, then Allah will break His ties with him. So we understand the importance of family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the 4th chapter of Quran, the first verse, Wal-Arham, right? He focused on the importance here of the family, and He called it the womb simply because it means the mother, the father, the brothers, the sisters, and everybody. But think how merciful a womb is to a child. Think about the relationship between the two. So we're constantly reminded that's how families should be. So number one is we should realize that sometimes high expectations have harmed our relationships with each other. So maybe a husband, he has these really, really utopic expectations of his wife. She has really utopic expectations of him. That leads to frustration and conflict in the home. If they were to lower those standards a little bit to be more human, like we find in the Quran, perhaps there wouldn't be that tension. So we should forgive each other. Children, we have really high expectations for our children. Sometimes mediocre expectations because we have this idea of perfection. Islam is asking us for perfect effort, but not perfect results. Perfect results can only be restricted to Allah the Most High, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So number one, we should forgive each other. أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Allah says in the Quran, would you not like that Allah forgives you? Meaning, so forgive other people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. Number two is time. Time. There was a song once where, he said, you gave her a Rolex, but that's not the time she wants. Oftentimes we think we can buy our family through gifts. I can't be around, so I'll send this. Whereas really, what most children, when we ask them, what is it you want from your father? It's not a PlayStation 2. It's not an Xbox. It's not, an iPad. It's iDad and iMom. Like they want that time with their parents. So we should make sure that as mothers and fathers, we spend time together if we are married. And our children, we should give time to them. So every day, try to have at least iftar or suhur with your family. That's a simple thing to do. If you're divorced, it's very difficult. This might be your first Ramadan, you're alone, single. It's hard. Make sure you take care of yourself. Surround yourself with the community iftars. So go to different masajids, right? Make sure that you go to those iftars so you can surround yourself with a good community. If you're a student in the city and you're alone, same thing. Make sure you put a good support group around yourself. A number of MSAs across the city are having iftars. Alhamdulillah. So creating the sense of at least creating a family if you don't have a family. And if you do have a family, then making sure that you invest the time into them. The third thing is to worship together. Make sure that although You come to the mosque, you make tarawih, this and that. Make sure there's moments where you worship with each other in this month of Ramadan, making dua. Ask your children to make dua for you, make dua for them. Everyone should share in this wonderful month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our families. If you are having troubles as a family, know here that we do have clinicians, marriage counselors who are ready to help you every Friday. Brother Ben is here. Try to stop by and use that service and get a referral if needed, because your family is really a great investment. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يُصْلِحْ بَالَنَا وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَنَا وَيَتَقَبَّلْ صِيَامَنَا وَصَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَى سَيِّدِنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ وَسَلَّمَ. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ.